You're listening to the Evil Metal Gamers Podcast.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Evil Metal Gamers Podcast. Today is September 22, 2018, and this is episode number 49. My name is Jose Roldan.
Frank Berna.
And you're listening to the Evil Metal Gamers Podcast, where you hear all your geek news.
All week. Week.
Anyway, it's been a interesting 2 weeks. Great games in my house. Fantastic games. And I'm sure there's plenty of news. BlizzCon didn't happen. I thought BlizzCon was happening right now, but it hasn't started yet. It starts on November 2nd.
So what was all that stuff that they were advertising?
I have no fucking clue. It hasn't started yet. They're still selling the BlizzCon tickets so you could get, the free stuff and the skin for Sombra for Overwatch. So no, it hasn't happened yet. But Tokyo Game Show, it was quietly happening at the time, and I mean, I felt like it was slow. They weren't showing anything. And then this week, a lot of shit started showing up.
Go on.
I mean, you didn't see the trailer for Resident Evil, so I can't really talk.
I tend to stay away from trailers. You should know that. The crowd should know that.
The good thing about Resident Evil 2 is that I can talk about it, and I'm not giving you spoilers. But they showed Ada.
I didn't want to. Yeah, no, I saw the picture. I don't need to see it, if that makes any sense. Like, there was the video with Claire walking with the gun and the flashlight, and she was walking her down, and it seemed like a brand new stairwell. And I was like, I don't want to see anything new. I want to experience the game perfectly fine. Capcom already has my money. It doesn't matter.
I know. But I mean, it's a Tokyo Game Show. I had to see it, and I have to say, it's looking more and more impressive. I don't have to tell you things that's gonna ruin the game for you. They show Ada, obviously, and they also showed the separation of the two characters, so they're really keeping it exactly how Resident Evil 2 was.
But that's the thing, and this goes back to where I was talking about Final Fantasy VII. You don't have to reinvent the wheel; just update shit. And
I like that, because everybody who hasn't played Resident Evil 2, which would be anybody from 98, if I'm not mistaken, anybody who was born in 98 and all the way up, unless they really like retro, I don't see why they would go and play Resident Evil 2. You understand what I mean?
I do. Yes.
Anybody born in 98, and when the fuck did Resident Evil 6 come out? 2009? I think. Once you experience Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, even though 6 was garbage, why would you go to Polygon version of your games? So you have to really like retro to go back.
Yes.
You understand? I mean, it's not the same for us because we played the games on their original ways, but I don't think I could go and play.
I have.
I can't think of anything. We were born when the era started, so I mean, what was before us? There wasn't anything. Fucking Pong. We were born in the 80s when Atari was... I mean, I know you didn't have... Did you have an Atari?
My uncle did. I had a Nintendo.
Well, there you go. But, I mean, we can't go to a game... We can't go to a new game and play something that was an old version where we've never experienced it. Because we've already experienced it. We're the first generation of video gamers. Which sounds old. So...
We are old.
Well, what I'm saying is...
Coming up on 40.
The younglings, why would they go to Resident Evil 2 how it looked like in PlayStation?
In all honesty, though, it actually still is a really good-looking game.
It is, but
if you put it on You put it on, your 50-inch flat screen, even at 1080p, it's going to look like dog shit. However, a lot of these kids nowadays, they have the modded PSPs, they have the modded Switches. It looks great on those little screens. So it's not a bad game to go to per se if you put it on the smaller screen, which a lot of these kids do. That's something that I am aware of.
I don't picture them going from the way they're playing Resident Evil now, picking up a controller and playing how it used to be. The tank controllers, don't find it.
No, you're not playing it on the TV. You're playing, like I said, you're playing it on a PSP.
Even if you're playing in a PSP, Frank, these kids don't. I don't think they know tank. What other games have tank controllers? I can't think of anything else.
They go back and they play the retro games. That's like one of those things where it's not a big market. Now you got to get this. It's not a big market, but there are the newer age kids that are going to those older games because of nostalgia, because their parents played it. It's like you or me going and finding the Beatles or Jimi Hendrix. They've been dead for 10 years before we were born, but we can appreciate the music. It's now, if you're looking at Fortnite kids, no, they're mentally challenged. That's what that is.
Oh my God.
If you are talking about a kid who actually cares about games and wants to see and appreciate really good games and the start of the genre, they exist.
Yeah,
I understand your argument. I understand your sentiment. But dude,
but it's not a huge portion. Is what I'm saying. It's not a huge. It's not a huge amount of people going back to play Resident Evil 2. Not that I mean to cut you off. What I mean is they don't need to change the game because there's still a lot of people who haven't played Resident Evil 2.
No, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Be so good.
Those people are going to experience, they're going to feel the same way we did when it first came out.
It's going to be awesome.
And it's going to be like two different feelings because us is a nostalgia. For them, it's a new experience.
Yeah.
And trust me, there's going to be a lot of people who haven't played Resident Evil 2. And they're going to get to
this. This is where... Do you remember in the late 90s when LucasArts went back and remastered 4, 5, and 6 and they brought them back to the big screen?
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
That was when I fell in love with Star Wars.
Wasn't that like 97, 98?
Uh-huh. I was in middle school. And that was when I rediscovered Star Wars, and I love Star Wars again. I saw it when I was a little kid. I had my little toy X-Wing, but it never really resonated with me of how great it was.
Exactly. And then when you go to watch it, you probably felt the same way that somebody who watched it in 77.
Oh, it was so great.
Man, did I say that right? I don't want Star Wars people to fucking scream at me. 77, right?
I believe so. It was, I think it was 77, 79, and then 83.
All
or
right.
it's 78, 81, 84. It could be slightly wrong.
We're gonna hear this Star Wars nerds fucking complaining. Anyway, they don't need to change anything. If they can keep the two different playbacks with two different characters, that'd be great. I don't think it's gonna happen. There's always that chance that they just might do like Resident Evil 0. There's always a chance that they might do that. I'm hoping they don't. Remember Resident Evil 0, you could change characters at any time? Or Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah. No, I don't. I hope they don't do it either.
I hope not because then you won't have a straightforward story. The whole point of playing two different characters at the same time is that you see one story and then the next story is you see why certain things weren't locked in the first story, and then you understand why it's locked in the second story. That's what made it cool.
Yes. Especially like when do you remember when Leon gets shot
Mm-hmm.
and then Claire sees him?
Yeah. Who
Was it
shot
Ada?
Leon? I thought it was Ada who shot him.
No.
It was nobody
Ada
else with guns.
No, he took a bullet for Ada.
Who tried to shoot her?
I don't remember, but he took a bullet for her.
God, man, it's been 20. It's been 30 years, right? Am I right?
No, 20 years.
20 years, bro. I don't remember who the fuck shot him.
Dude, I played that game so much.
It's going to be awesome. So,
Yeah.
and then talk about Tokyo Game Show. They showed also a new footage for Kingdom Hearts. And
Man.
I've never felt so lost in my life. Everybody's freaking out about characters that I have no fucking clue who they are. And that's because I never played the Nintendo DS ones. So I'm actually kind of turned off with Kingdom Hearts 3 because you're kind of forcing me to play the Nintendo DS version games, and I don't want to play those. So I don't know how they're going to do it where somebody can just pick up Kingdom Hearts 3 and understand what the fuck is going on. And trust me, it's a complex story. If you don't know what happened in 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure you're going to be lost in 3. So I don't know what to do. So
This could quite possibly be one of the biggest flops in the history of video games.
it could be because this one is not continuing after 3. It's continuing.
You mean after 2?
I mean, after 2, it's continuing after 2 Nintendo DS games and 2. So, I mean, you're playing the same character from part 2, but there's a lot of characters that I have no fucking clue what's going on. And the Japanese is not helping me. But other than that, I think it's interesting that they got Wreck-It Ralph, they got Big Hero 6, Monsters, Inc. I love that shit. I also love that they changed the style to wherever world they go. So when they go to Pirates of the Caribbean, they look more human-like. But, I mean, of course, if they were going to make it human-like, then Goofy should be a fucking dog and Donald should be a duck.
I don't know.
At least in that kind of world. But it's interesting. The other thing I saw was Devil May Cry 5, and goddamn, what am I excited about this fucking game. Even though I'm playing that terrible character that I hate so much.
Well, no, you also get to play as Dante.
Yes.
They've showed gameplay.
And Dante looks like he's aged.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's matured a little bit, which would make his character interesting if he lectures and shit. I don't want him to change too much, but man, the fucking game looks unbelievable. Holy shit. I can't believe they would make this game look so good. I thought it was going to be generic. It's going to look like part 4, but bro, it looks really good.
It's super Japanese.
It is super Japanese, but it still
Super
looks
Japanese.
smooth as fuck. I don't know if I don't know if what I'm watching is 4K and that's why it looks so good, but man, does it look good. Especially when you see monsters from part 1 and they look unbelievable. Those shadow monsters that have the Green Reaper type of monsters, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
They have like weird masks on. They showed them in this game and they look fucking crazy. I'm trying not to curse too much, but it does look unbelievable to see how well the game looks, and it's smooth. Man, am I excited for that one. That one's probably something. I mean, is that coming out next year?
I'm not sure when that one's coming out. A game that I saw that I'm super stoked about. Like, it is one of those underground hidden. Technically, I got 2, but one of them I'm really stoked for. That's Samurai Showdown 6.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Oh man. Ooh,
I can't believe they brought that back.
It looks
You know, I
so
always
good.
thought they should bring it back, but
Oh,
Go ahead.
so did I. So
I-
when I was a kid growing up in Pittsburgh, I had a friend. Well, they were brothers. I had friends, and they actually had a 3DO. You remember 3DO?
Yeah, of course. I had a friend who bought one, and we
I
used
had
to
a
go.
friend who bought one too.
It was like what,
had-
$600 in the 90s?
Yeah, your guess is. These were also friends of mine that had an actually working PC, and I was able to play Doom 2. Like, these kids had money, but they didn't have money because they lived in the hood. Does that make sense?
So it was stolen money?
Oh,
I'm fucking with you.
dude, I don't know. But I know I was able to play Doom 2, and I got to play Samurai Showdown. It is one of my favorite fighting games.
Bro, SNK, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, SNK.
Where does SNK come from? I thought they were
They're
gone.
Japanese.
No, I thought they were just they just
Oh, no,
disappeared.
no.
Remember the
they
system?
have-
The Neo Geo was about $600.
Yeah. I mean, their games are huge in Japan. You know, King of Fighters.
They got a new King
Metal
of Fighters that
Slug.
just came out too.
Dude, King of Fighters is on King of Fighters 18, I
No,
think. I could
but this
be
one that
wrong.
just came out is called SNK Heroines.
Oh, it's all the chicks?
All the chicks.
Dude, that was the original May. That chick was so hot. She's
That-
still so hot.
All that just came out last week. They didn't promote that shit at all.
It's very niche. It's very
Yeah,
niche.
well, and
Like I said,
it's only
this is one of
girls.
those games. But hell, Samurai Showdown is very niche, and the fact that they're bringing that back, oh my god! The only character I did not see that I really like is Hanzo.
Uh-huh.
And fun fact about Hanzo, I might have said this before, but his name is Hanzo Hattori, and that is where
Oh, you did
Quentin
say that.
Quentin
Tarantino.
Tarantino got the name Hattori Hanzo from, was actually that game. That was one of his favorite fighters. So that was really cool.
When is this supposed to come
Yeah.
out? Did they give a date?
I don't know. I just know that they're bringing back fatalities from what I heard.
I don't see. It's been
Well,
such a long time. I don't remember. Was there fatalities?
It wasn't so much a fatality as, okay, so you know in Street Fighter when you charge up your ultimate power,
Yes.
and then you do your super move and like the screen goes all crazy. In
Uh-huh.
that game, you actually kill people.
That's crazy. I think I remember. Bro, it's been such a long time. I cannot remember that game. All I remember that it had a lot of blood and I loved it. Other than
Game was
that,
awesome.
it's been a while since I played it. You know, there's no more arcade places. They've gone all under, so there's nowhere to go and play Samurai
the only
Showdown
place
anymore.
Only place I ever played it was on my friend's 3DO, and it was one of those things when I would go over, dude, I would play the fuck out of it because I knew I wasn't gonna play it again until the next time I go over.
I used to go to
And
Boomers.
And the thing was, so my grandma lived outside of the main city of Pittsburgh. Like when I lived in Pittsburgh, my grandma lived outside the city of Pittsburgh, and I would go to my grandma's house. And he was my friend because his grandmother lived across the street too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when it was the weekends, everybody would come over and hang out. You know, people would stay at their respective grandmother's houses because our parents didn't want us living in the city because it's the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was one of those things where I would have to go. We'd have to go, to my grandma's house, and then I would have to get the permission to go over his actual house to play his 3DO. So it was like once a month, if that I would ever get to do it. But oh my god, dude, Samurai Showdown was the shit.
Yeah, it's good.
The other game, go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead.
And then the other game, and I mean, I've been announcing it. I've been talking about it for a while. We got another Catherine full body trailer, and it's showing more of the story mode. They're really going in on this game. If
Are
you've
they?
never played Yeah, man. Because I love Catherine. It was one of my sleeper games. It was one of the, when you go to GameStop and there's always that game that you look at but you never buy it. You're like, I want it, but I can't justify buying it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I never picked it up.
Catherine was one of those games, and one year, I got a GameStop card. We did a Secret Santa at work, and the woman there knew I was a gamer, and she got me the $25 gift card. And I went and I was like, you know what? I've always wanted this game, and I got it, and I was like, this game is amazing. Granted, it's a glorified puzzle game, but the story element is great. And there's a bunch of characters in it, and you get to talk to the characters, interact with the characters, and a lot of this stuff is happening at a bar. And it's a very well done story. It talks a lot about relationships, kind of gets into the mind of why men cheat.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting game from that aspect.
What is this supposed to come out?
It's coming out early 2019 in Japan, and then there's going to be a later date for
September 2019.
But like I said, there's a brand new character, and this brand new character is getting a lot of flack because she's a trans. She's not technically a woman. She's a transgender.
Okay.
And based off of the videos that I've seen in the trailers, granted they're only in Japanese, they only speak Japanese. The trailers are showing new cutscenes that I've never seen before, essentially because of this trans character. But it's not just the trans character that's new. So in the game, your girlfriend's name is Catherine with a K, and then Catherine with a C is the succubus character that's kind of cheating, that you're cheating on your girlfriend with. So there are two Catherines in the game. Both of them in this new trailer are being shown. So they're going all out with this game. They're really adding a lot of stuff to it.
Hopefully
is awesome.
It won't fail. I'm hoping.
I don't think it's going to get big. It will surprise me if it gets released full $60. I don't even think I'll buy it for a full 60. 40, you got me. 60's too much. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it releases at 60, I'm not. If it releases at 40, I'm totally there. The one thing that I do like, and I don't know, going way back to one of our original podcasts where we were talking about, games that we liked. Catherine was one of them, and they'd had this thing called the Golden Palace, where it was this chick that was talking, and she brings forth the element of the story, Catherine. From what I've seen, there's an ad that was released that has DLC content. Apparently, because this is an Atlas game, there's going to be DLC content that works with Persona 5.
Oh shit! That's still on my list to get.
Oh, dude, that's my Black Friday game of the year. That is my Black Friday game of the year.
Last year it didn't go down for Black Friday, so hopefully this year it does.
Oh yeah, dude, I almost bought it. It was $30 on PSN. But
still too much.
The actual game. It's one of those games that I want the actual game. I feel like something weird or sketchy would happen to it. Like it gets deleted off the PlayStation account. And if you don't download it, does that make sense? I don't know. I want the tactile version of that game, so I'm buying that game.
I don't blame you.
That is my... Every year on Black Friday, I always have my big game that I'm going after. And I'm pretty much 10 for 10 on those. That's the one I want. I'm expecting that game to be 25, if not cheaper.
Then I'll get it when it comes out.
Yeah, that's totally what I want.
So, other news.
I thought we were sticking with Tokyo Game Show.
Do you have anything else in the Tokyo Game Show? Because I was going to talk about something else.
Besides that, it's, dude, based off of everything, Tokyo Game Show looks like the game. It looks like the event that all gamers would really want to go to.
You think so? Because I've heard it's been dying little by little every year.
Dude, they did an actual Resident Evil Biohazard wing where there were like dead bodies and shit. They had a VR Metal Gear Solid escape room.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, like it's.
I know that they have their pop culture is awesome, but when it comes to showing a lot of games,
Asian
I heard
booth babes.
Yeah, they didn't change that shit at all. They're like, fuck the world. We're gonna keep it the way we like it. But it's not as I guess it's because there's not that much Japanese games being made as opposed to 10 years ago where you would go to the Japanese Tokyo Game Show and it was like there'd be games and shit there that you couldn't see anywhere, you know? But it's not like that anymore. They're playing their games, but they had a lot of showing for games that are from here, from other parts of the world. And I think it's because they're not making that many games. And staying in the Japanese market, Nintendo has officially gone to online. It only took a year and a half, but they finally done the jump. And it's pretty much you're being hypocritical. You're being a hypocrite when PlayStation does the same thing. So you're being a hypocrite. It's the truth. You criticizing what Nintendo did is being a hypocrite when PlayStation does the exact same shit. And they're charging you fucking $50. So, once again, why do you justify $50 for Sony but not $30? Not even, because you want to do only one account, so it's only $20 a year. I'm waiting.
It's the Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. You had nothing to say. They went online and they went online and I guess they know that they have to charge. Immediately I got 20 games. Was it 20? No, I think it's 12 games for free from the Nintendo era. So I don't even need the fucking NES Mini or whatever. They gave me those for free and they changed them to online mode so you could play the game against other people online. So you could play Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong for the first time ever online with other people. They made them 2-player games. You're paying $20 and you could get online features just like PlayStation, just like Xbox. To sit there and criticize is not right. They kind of twisted my hand on it because my daughter, she plays Splatoon and no online, and she almost had a coronary. I swear I thought she was gonna slam her head against the wall because she couldn't play Splatoon. So I mean, I kind of was forced on it. Now $35 for a family plan of 7 people is not bad, especially the fact that I'm already added one of my friends, and then I know somebody else who wants to be part of it when they get a Switch.
Don't know who that is.
Mm-hmm. So then it comes up to $10 a year. It's not bad, Frank. I'm not gonna lie. There's a couple of things that they do that is just a pain in the ass, like their voice chat features is a joke, and their cloud is an embarrassment of Japanese technology. It's an embarrassment. They should fall on their own sword for that shit. But other than that, $34. If me, you, Dylan, and George, we get on it every year, it's not that much. It's not gonna be that hurtful. But I mean, you don't look like you're gonna get any games online that I can think of. I might be wrong.
No, I'm getting it more for the missus.
Yeah, and
to get Octopath Traveler is legit.
Yeah, and I don't think she's gonna want to play Mario Party with other people, even though you can.
A lot of what she wants to do with it. Her sister has a Switch, so when they play Mario Party, they can just link up their Switches and play that way.
And they can play online too, because I think it's gonna be online.
Yeah,
but other than that, nothing big, nothing major. Other than the fact that you can't play online anymore for free, you have to pay. It's $7.99 a month, or $20 a year, or $37 for a family plan. $37, 7 people. It doesn't have to be your family, guys. You can just get your friends, and you can put them in the family group, and then everybody can have it. Other news.
Until they hear this podcast.
Why?
They're going to change the rules and regulations.
Oh, that's true. I'm waiting for that, because they do shit like that. Other news. The sad story I heard yesterday that Telltale Games is going out of business.
It is sad.
It is sad.
Very sad.
Because this was video game story. And I feel like this is another blow to the single player era. Not the single player story mode era. And it's not fair. I don't think it's right. And I heard it's because it was bad management. I don't know what the fuck it was. But god damn it, man. I want to play Wolf Among Us 2. And I heard that they're not even going to give us an ending for Walking Dead. Are you kidding me?
Oh
Frank?
no, they're gonna give a ending. It's just gonna be 2 episodes long.
So they're cutting it short though.
Yeah.
How are they going to do that when they fired everybody? Talking about fired, also Ubisoft is like offering all these people jobs. Almost a lot of people who got fired. Ubisoft is like,
shit.
Yeah, Ubisoft has been sending them job opportunities to them. Because it's the fact that this is good story. I mean, maybe they don't have the greatest game mechanics. It's very simple. But that doesn't mean that you can't make a game like that.
I'll take that over Call of Duty.
Hell yeah. And maybe they can't make Telltale Games, but they can make a game just the same on Ubisoft. I mean, Telltale...
I love their games.
Yeah, and Telltale Games doesn't own the right to make games like that. You're not going to tell me that Ubisoft can't get a hold of Game of Thrones rights? Or whatever, I don't know. A Spider-Man game or a Batman game? Any company could do it. Telltale Games wasn't special. It was just that they were getting these awesome license, and obviously the storytelling was awesome. Well, I mean, Walking Dead, they changed it up. But if I'm not, I never read the comics for Wolf Among Us, but Wolf Among Us was very similar to the comics. Game of Thrones took place in a different family. Borderlands took a... Fuck, man. Borderlands is probably the most connected game to any of the Borderlands. I mean, not Borderlands, to any other story. Like the cat.
I loved Tales of the Borderlands.
Yeah, and
loved that.
And there was even one of the characters might be playable for Borderlands 3.
And there was a rumor that there was going to be a sequel to that.
That sucks, man. It really sucks. I feel bad for the people working there. I really hope that they do get jobs. I'm sorry that you're losing your jobs, but...
And the other one was the Game of Thrones. I was really looking forward to the sequel to the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, now we'll never know what happened.
Especially because, like, my character of Sarah died. I fully committed to killing her.
Wait, the one who got her head chopped off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got her killed too?
Yeah, I got her killed. I didn't even know you could live. Oh, I think you have to say, yes, I'll marry you.
Yeah.
No, I got her killed. I took my pride and I said, fuck you, I'm not getting married.
So did I.
And they got her head. But so let's talk about before we talk about the big game, let's talk about testicles.
Oh, you're talking about the 2018 Eve Metal Gamers Game of the Year.
Hey, after reading this, it might be, huh? When
Hey,
you
man,
go out of your way to shrink horses' testicles on cold weather, that's dedication to detail.
This game is getting ridiculous reviews about their attention to detail.
That's what the fuck is going on at Rockstar. I mean, you're really going into detail now. And the fact that somebody noticed that is even sadder. Because maybe they added that detail, but people were like, this reminds me of a story. Did you ever remember the what was that book? The Scarlet A? Is that right?
Scarlet Letter?
The Scarlet Letter? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that movie was made by Demi Moore? The book was made as a movie with Demi Moore?
Yeah.
Okay, there's this scene where she's taking a bath and she's naked and the guy's like watching her through a hole or something like that. And no, it's not. It's not. There's a part where they're having sex, and we went to see that in the movie theater when we were teenagers, and and there was a horse in the background, and one of my friends noticed the horse's penis in the background. So that's what I feel about whoever was playing Red Dead was like, seriously, out of all the details in this fucking game, you were looking at the horse's testicles? Like, who was the gamer? Who was the reviewer who was looking at this? And now this is news. It's everywhere, Frank. Everywhere I look, there's an article about the horse's balls.
Dude, the game is... It's going... I mean, you can sit there and criticize all you want about the horse's balls. It is what it is.
I'm not criticizing. I'm saying, why are you looking at that?
I mean, there is farm porn out there.
I know. It's just I believe the game has great details. Okay, the fact that you can shoot somebody's hat off, that's really cool.
Oh no, you can shoot somebody's hat off and then you can take it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It'd be cool if the hats give you perks.
Well, no, the one of the big thing is style is big in the game. It's going to attribute, like, if you're wearing expensive clothes, people will pay more attention to you. They've already announced, like, if you go into a town and you're looking dirty, people are going to treat you poorly because they think you don't have money. What this game is doing, and, we got into the argument time and time again about this game, I think this is going to revolutionize games.
That's exaggerated. Come on.
I do. I think
there's things in there that has been done in other games. It's not revolutionizing games.
This goes back to what I said about Zelda. Everybody wants to talk about how great Zelda was,
but nobody said Zelda revolutionized games.
Oh, dude, people were like, "Oh my god, Zelda took so much of what games were and it made it better," and blah 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 blah.
But yes, but it didn't revolutionize games. It was just good. And I'm not saying that Red Dead is bad, but you're making it look like they're making something that's never been done before. Yes, there's attention to detail, but there's a lot of games that pay attention to details. For fuck's sake, Metal Gear Solid 5 had great details.
Oh yeah, no, dude, you won't get me to disagree with that.
So did Witcher 3.
Once again, you're not going to get me to disagree with that. It's the concept of the interaction. The big thing about this game, multiple people have said it, you were not the center of the world. You were in this world. Where a lot of open world games, everything is based off of what you do and if you do X, Y, and Z. And the big emphasis on this game is that you're just a visitor here. You're not the end-all, be-all. The world will continue to exist without you. one of the big things that they've already said about the camp, if they're low on food, they're not just gonna die. They're gonna go and they're gonna get food, and then they're gonna talk shit about you because you're not pulling your weight.
Okay, there are some things that is interesting details, but the fact that if you're covered in blood, people will react differently. It's been done in Metal Gear Solid 5. The fact that he can grow a beard with time, that's been done in Witcher 3. I mean, like I said, it's going to be an amazing game. But you're not going to...
Witcher 3?
Yeah. The more you play with The Witcher, he'll grow a beard, of course.
I know that.
Yeah, you have to shave it. You have to go to a barber and shave your beard, and then it'll grow.
Well, no, you could choose. You don't have to go to a barber. You can actually shave. But if you want to stylize your beard, you have to go to somebody to get your beard.
That's what you would have to do in Witcher, if you wanted to get it styled. I guess you could shave in Red Dead, but it's been done. Don't get me wrong. This game is going to be awesome, and I'm probably going to ask it for my birthday because I won't have money to get it. But I don't think, and I might be wrong. Of course, I might say, "Oh, this is going to be Game of the Year." But right now, in my eyes, I still think God of War did things that is pretty unbelievable. And I'm going to stick with God of War to the end for Game of the Year.
No. I mean, I've said it time and time again. Out of all of us, I'm the biggest God of War fan. Amongst all of us, there is not a single person who's a bigger God of War fan than I am.
Just the story alone, you cannot beat.
Kratos is my spirit animal, dude.
Bro, just the story alone, there's no way in hell Red Dead could beat that story.
Okay, I mean,
the epicness of the story cannot be beaten by a Wild Wild West story.
And that's where like I just disagree with you so much, because every one of these characters and things, we've already done them so many times, and this idea of cowboys is such a small genre that it never gets done.
It is not a small genre. Cowboys have been done since the 40s. That's why I'm saying that there's no way that this story is going to be any different. Okay, in video games, Frank, in video games. But there's no way that this story is going to be any different than any other cowboy story that's been done from the fucking 1950s, from John Wayne to fucking Clint Eastwood. They're going to be adding stuff that is part of Wild Wild West type of movies. Even the Wild Wild West show. I'm not saying it's going to be, like I said, I'm not trying to say it's going to be bad. But you can't take a Wild West. It's been done so many fucking times, bro, that you're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, I never saw this on Deadwood. I never saw this on a John Wayne movie. I never saw this on a Clint Eastwood movie. I never saw this on The Magnificent Seven. I never saw this in 3:10 to Yuma." The genre may be new to video games, but it's been around for years. So, but I could tell you right now what go ahead.
Based off of what you're saying, dude, we already seen the God of War father and son in The Last of Us. Hell, I'll even go so far as to say The Last of Us, from father to child, was better than Kratos and his son.
Oh my God! How dare you? No way!
How dare you?
No way that the relationship between Kratos and his son was better than Ellie and Joel's. It wasn't. Not that I'm saying it was bad. Don't get me wrong. Joel and Ellie's story was amazing. But Joel and Ellie's story is no way in part to this story. But I mean, it's just opinions. I'm not, I don't want to think that I'm just going after and disagreeing with you. In my opinion, this story to me made an impact on me. And I don't feel that there's a way that Red Dead could really I mean, you better come up with some fucking good fucking Oscar-winning writing to really change my mind over, not change my mind, but to shadow God of War out of my mind. You understand what I'm saying? You better have the best fucking writers. Because, like you said, graphics isn't everything, and gameplay, and you need a story. I've always noticed that people who win Game of the Year, other than Overwatch, because I know you're going to bring it up, if you have these two competing entities, God of War versus Red Dead, story is going to be an aspect to decide which one's going to be Game of the Year. So, it better be good. It better be like... like, I'm gonna fucking be blown away. Can you really think blown away is gonna be in the story for Red Dead Redemption? Can you truly say that?
Yeah, I can. I can, just based off of the story of Red Dead Redemption. That main story for Red Dead Redemption was so well done.
Yet it lost against Mass Effect 2.
So well done. So well done.
Once again, like I said, yet it lost Game of the Year against Mass Effect 2.
Depending on who you ask, because GameSpot gave it Game of the Year, not Mass Effect 2.
GameStop.
Spot.
Who gave it? The majority of people who gave it was the Mass Effect 2 that year. So you got one website that went to Red Dead.
There's a bunch of games that came out that year.
But like Mass Effect was like the number one in everybody's list as best game of the year.
Mass Effect 2 was one of those games that people weren't ready for. Mass Effect 2 gave a lot of that individualized gameplay that people weren't expecting from video games.
Are you kidding me? Are you really saying that over Red Dead? That had never been none of that in Red Dead had been done before.
No, but what the Mass Effect was just bigger. Mass Effect, and I'm not knocking Mass Effect at all. I mean, hell, I never even really played Mass Effect. I just know the power that it had. But even still, a Red Dead Redemption story was...
It was really good. It was excellent. It was unbelievable.
And the fact that when John Marston died and you took over his son, I think 90% of people went after that guy, went after the lawman.
The lawman.
That got his dad killed. And that wasn't even an objective.
But
you just did it.
Which is true. But other than that, story-wise, it was a criminal who was trying to redeem himself for his family, which was done with Unforgiven.
No, it wasn't his family.
Unforgiven was about his family. And he was a criminal.
His family?
Yeah, he had a wife and a daughter. I don't remember if they get killed, but he had a wife and a daughter, and then he goes with his partner Morgan Freeman.
Well, no, Morgan dies.
Yeah, Morgan dies, and he goes ape shit, and he fucking kills everybody, which is probably one of the best scenes in any Western I have ever seen. Where he just loses it and kills everyone in that bar. By himself.
Red Dead was so good.
Red Dead was awesome.
Was so great.
I'm just saying.
I personally think what's going to make this game great and where this game's going to stand out is that your Arthur Morgan and my Arthur Morgan are going to be two completely different people. And what happens in your game versus what happens in my game are going to be two completely different stories.
But that could be done in Mass Effect.
And that's why Mass Effect 1, that goes back to what I was saying, and why Mass Effect 1, and it was something that was never done.
I remember there was another game.
That goes back to you being, hell, Walking Dead, the very first Walking Dead won Game of the Year, and it was once again that element of the different aspects of the game, who survives, who dies, how they die. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, either way, I'm going to enjoy both games, but...
And with that, like, the idea that people... How you interact with people is really going to focus on what happens to your character. And the one thing, the little attention to detail that I saw, or that I read about, the animals in the area. Oh, that was a good one.
The animals in the area.
Yeah, I know where I was going. I had to let that one out. That was a good one. The animals in the area. So if there's a city or a town, right, and they have dogs, if you're nice to the dogs and play with the dogs and pet the dogs, they're not going to bark if you're stealing shit.
Okay.
That is, I really find that interesting and intriguing, that the environment's going to react to you rather than your atypical game of, is it a good guy or is it a bad guy? There's more emotion tied into what goes on. I've read so much about this dialogue where you can start a fight with somebody because there are different types of things that you can say to every, not just specific to any NPC in the game. And you can start antagonizing somebody and then go into a joking mode where your character calls the bluff. It literally is something that's never been done before in video games. I don't know, like, everything that I've seen Rockstar do since Grand Theft Auto, and I'm talking original Grand Theft Auto, up to this point.
You mean Grand Theft Auto 3?
No, Grand Theft Auto. PlayStation 1, over-the-top Micro Machine shit.
Okay.
Just from that idea of video games to Grand Theft Auto 3, to Vice City, to San Andreas, Max Payne, Bully, hell, even LA Noire, all those different elements that, and it's fully realizing how great they are as a company. I'm blown away. The idea that you actually have to wear something to cover you when you go to cold weather, otherwise you'll die, is awesome.
That's been done in Legend of Zelda. Okay.
I mean,
I'm just saying that's not new.
But everything about this game is just going to be awesome. And I go back to it. If you want to talk about Legend of Zelda, dude, that was the entire idea. Everything about Legend of Zelda, the last one,
Breath of the Wild,
30 different games slapped into one.
Yes.
And everybody was like, this is the greatest thing ever created.
Yeah, but nobody said it revolutionized anything.
No,
it was just great. Whatever, if you think so. I feel like all these details and everything is awesome, but everything in this game has been taken from something else.
Not necessarily.
You have to wear...
go ahead.
Like you said, you have to wear a jacket or something to keep cool. It's Legend of Zelda. If you got too far into a cold area, you would freeze to death. So you had to either eat something that kept you warm or get a fire going, or you had to wear warm clothes, or you would die.
Yeah, we've had survival games like that.
And if you were in the desert, you had to wear something skimpy, or you would die if you wore too much clothes. But like I said, it's not that I'm trying to find something down on that aspect, and I can't judge it yet till I play it. I can't. I mean, some people are saying the fucking Spider-Man could be Game of the Year. And I disagree with that one too. Even though it's probably in my top 5 of this year. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it can be. If I play Spider-Man, I don't think it beats God of War yet. But
you beat it though.
Yeah, I did beat it. And it was probably one of the best Spider-Man stories I've seen. Like, this could have been a movie, and it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
They could fucking take this story and add it to the Spider-Man and MCU, and I wouldn't be mad. That's how good I thought it was. But
and then from there, I've said it before, in the idea of where this game's going, the fact that multiple people at Rockstar are saying that the next Grand Theft Auto is going to be their continental United States, and the aspects of the Red Dead Redemptions on top of all the Grand Theft Autos, to see the living, growing world is awesome. Going back to us being old gamers, to see the Vice Cities, the Liberty Cities, the San Andreas, and to see all those grow and mature into something else. Because to me, that's the other idea behind Red Dead that really excites me, is that this idea, this old city, to grow with this old city that will grow into something else, is where Rockstar is leaps and bounds ahead of any other franchise.
I'll agree with you on that.
And that I think is another, I think that's just another element to why I'm excited. Just because I know they're already working on 6, to see if they actually incorporate what they produce here into the next game.
I'll tell you one thing, CD Projekt is catching up. CD Projekt Red. You there?
Yeah. Oh, that was sexy. They are, if they do The Witcher into Cyberpunk.
I don't think they're done with The Witcher. I mean, they could keep the Siri.
Witcher ended?
The Witcher ended.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They could do Siri. But Geralt is done. I mean, unless the Netflix show does so well that they're forced to make a new one. Or they can always remake part 1, you know? There's many possibilities of what they can do. But we're getting out of track here. We've been talking for a while now, and we have to get to the main course. Because the people want to talk about it. The people want to hear it. The game that came out this week. Are you ready?
I guess.
Let's talk about it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You got it, right? You rented it? You played it for like, what, an hour?
About 2.
About 2 hours. I absolutely love Shadow of the Tomb Raider. There wasn't anything I didn't like about Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I thought it was an overall great game. And when you get to those Peruvian jungle, have you been to the Peruvian jungles?
I'm getting there.
So you're still in Mexico?
No. I just finished Mexico.
So did you crash into the Peruvian jungle?
Yeah.
What did you feel about the jungle?
It's whatever.
That's whatever. You don't think the graphics were awesome?
No.
You don't think
it's good. It's good. It's choppy. Her swimming is atrocious. The swimming is really bad. I guess it's just because I saw such high reviews for it, and then I get in there and I see a lot of just the little thing, and I mean, you once again, I know I'm nitpicking, but when we have people like Hideo who would take a game like this and know that she wouldn't move like this, that's where I'm nitpicking. I know I'm nitpicking.
And I wish you applied to other games that you like, but you don't.
No, I do.
No, you don't. You're kind of
do.
biased to games that you like. Because you wouldn't.
Give
When Red Dead comes out, I'd like to see you nitpick that. But you won't.
Oh, I will.
No, you won't.
I could. I mean, give me.
I can tell you right now, you won't.
Give me a game where I enjoyed it and I didn't nitpick.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
It's not complete.
No. But you don't nitpick at it. Don't tell me about it's not complete story wise. You don't nitpick anything about it, even though I can find you 10 things just looking at it.
Oh, there's flaws in the game. It's not perfected.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with it's not a complete game.
It's one of the greatest games ever created.
It is, but I mean, if you like we go to this every time, Frank. If we sit down and nitpick, we can find things in any game. We can find it on God of War, and which is fine.
God of Wars is really. They put a lot of detail into that game.
They did.
The one benefit of God of War versus a game like Metal Gear though is that it's not truly open world.
No,
so they can fit more detail into it.
It's a linear game.
I would say probably the biggest gripe that I had with God of War was the boat. The boat mechanics weren't great at all. Like, it didn't look good. He paddled way too fast. Him parking the boat always just made I cringed when he would park the boat. No, dude, I can criticize just about any game you give me. That's not a problem. The swimming is an atrocity, though. That was one of the worst aspects of the game.
In what aspect do you think the swimming is bad? Please walk me through it.
It's choppy. It's not fluid. The diving and the going up. I'll go to Uncharted 4 swimming was one of the better swimming.
You gotta be. Did you just tell me Uncharted swimming is good?
Uncharted 4 is better than this. I'll put 2 and 2 together and I'll show you. I have both games.
Please, but give me a detail how Uncharted swimming is better.
It looks better. It's smoother. She's very choppy. I mean, this could be because you're on PC and I'm on a PS4. I don't know.
It could be that you're playing at 30 frames per second.
But it's choppy. I guess I'll use my phone and record her swimming, but it doesn't look good.
Okay.
And if you can make a recording.
So you didn't like the jungle, all that detail they added into the jungle.
No, it's good. It's not great. Like it's that. It's good. It's not great.
I just don't
like
the amount of detail they put in the jungle.
No, I'm not talking the jungle. I'm talking animation. I feel like we're having the same conversation that we have when you're playing
Assassin's Creed.
You're looking at the background. You're not looking at what the characters are doing, and that's where
I thought she moved fine,
dude. The background's beautiful. I won't knock that, but when I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to do the corner, like I hate the fact that it's got to go to a cutscene to do a stealth kill. And then when I do the stealth kill, now I'm discombobulated because I attacked from the right, but she's killing from the left. And now, because I killed one guy and I was going to set it up for another guy, but now the camera's not where it has to be.
Okay.
Does that make... Do you see what I'm saying?
You're saying that when you go in a stealth kill, it goes in an animated thing.
Yeah, it goes into an action scene, but
almost
it's
like when you do a death kill with Kratos, and it goes into an animated thing too.
What do you mean?
When you grab, you do the same animated thing sequence over and over. When you grab a monster.
Yes, but it doesn't. The animation is the same, but the camera doesn't cut. Does that make sense?
The camera doesn't. It does the same thing. It cuts to him
No, it
ripping him
doesn't.
in half, or doing some other angle.
Right, but no. The camera spins, it doesn't cut. I don't think you understand what I'm grasping.
There's plenty of games that are like that. I don't understand how you could be judging because that's the style of the game, though. I don't think that's fair. That's the style.
No.
Because they didn't do it at your style. Is different.
No, you're not listening.
It cuts. Yes, I know. It cuts.
It cuts, but it doesn't cut properly, is what I'm saying.
What? Like Spider-Man,
Okay.
when he does a finishing move, it cuts too.
Oh, I didn't get to any stealth in Spider-Man.
No
so I
stealth.
couldn't tell you.
Even when you do a finishing move, it cuts.
No, Spider-Man spun. It doesn't cut. You're miss. Do you know the difference between a spin and a cut? Yes or no?
Walk me through what a spin and a cut is.
Okay, so if I'm standing against the wall, right, and I do it here. Did you play Deus Ex?
Yes.
Okay, that is the difference between a spin and a cut. You go from first person, and then it does third person, where it cuts from one visual to another, and then it goes back to first person. Those are what we call cuts. It cuts the transition out. It's not fluid. Does that make sense?
Yes, to make it look more cinematic. What does that have to do with anything?
Right. Okay, so when I would do a stealth kill, right? So I'm up against, I go back to, I stealth killed somebody, right? And the way I approached them, I approached on their right side. But the game wants to randomize how I killed the person. So the game did a stealth kill where I approached on the left side. And when it did the kill and I approached on the left side, this second enemy that I was going after, my camera angle's off.
You're
So
nitpicking,
now,
bro. You're really
no,
nitpicking.
I'm not nitpicking, because now when I go after the second character, I don't know where I'm at, and I run into the second character.
It's got to be you, bro, because I never had that issue at all.
Okay, I mean, I'm telling you what I saw. Like, when everybody's sitting there saying this game's a 9, I'm like, this game's an 8.
You are such a nitpick. We're gonna have fun with Red Dead.
That's fine.
Because
we'll have fun with Red Dead.
you really nitpick the smallest shit.
It's
small, Frank. It's small. No matter what.
It goes back to like, so that first level in Mexico, I'm sitting there and I'm killing people left and right. Dude, action stealth games that's my wheelhouse. I love those style of games.
Okay.
In that, you get those two mercenaries that come, and let me tell you, I swear to God, they're like magnetized to where you are. Because I died. Well, I didn't die. I restarted several times. Because I'm like, this is bullshit on how they can know where I'm at. Because I did it 3 different ways. And each time, they went directly to where I was. And that's where I'm like, this is bullshit. Okay, do you remember? I don't know if you remember the Mexico part. Because what it was, there were 2 walls with a bridge. And then there was this middle piece where you can hide. And then there was grass on the wall, okay? You kill all the Mexican help, whatever. They're dead. Then these two mercenaries come out. When these two mercenaries come out, they come looking for you. First time I hid behind the barrier, and they both somehow walked right up, split into two, and both knew I was right there. I was like, alright, that was bullshit. Let me restart it. So then I went up the wall, and when I went up the wall, they literally climbed up the wall. I'm like, how the fuck did they know I was up the wall when the first time I hit in the medium? My girlfriend saw me, and she's like, you're visibly getting mad. I'm like, because this is bullshit. This game, these characters literally know where I'm at. The third time, I stuck in this group of bushes, and they have to go through a tunnel. And literally, when they come out the tunnel, they're both aimed in on the bush I was in. 3 different spots, and these are restarts. It's not like there's a trail of dead bodies that say, hey, he's going to be by these bushes. You could sit there and say I'm nitpicking, and I'm telling you, I noticed
guess
this.
We play differently because I barely got caught.
Yeah, man. Like
I knew how to move around and hit it. Never they went up to me.
I was so angry about it that I think I will go back, make videos to show you exactly what happened, because it was straight bullshit.
No, okay, well, I guess that's your perspective. But me, technically, when it came to sneaking, I had no problem moving around, knew where to be, knew their movements, when to move. I used objects to throw things away, to lure them away from each other. If they were too close to each other, I know to make sure to move one from the other side. So then I know when to kill one without the other one noticing me. Plus, you use the other screen, which tells you if they're in red not to kill them because somebody else is watching that person. You knew that, right?
No.
When you push a button and they both, and the person you're about to kill is in red.
Yeah, no, that shit's stupid.
But how do you know nobody's watching them?
Cheating.
It's not cheating. It's realistically, if somebody's watching the person walking by and they see you kill them into the, they saw it. So when you do it in red, it's telling you. But if you don't want that, then yes, you can play very hard mode.
No, I don't use that bullshit.
The very hard mode. It's a game.
Nah.
There is no radar that tells you when there's a bad guy nearby, but yet Metal Gear Solid does it.
No, there's nano machines.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's bullshit too.
No, because don't you remember, there are times where the nano machines don't work.
Oh, okay. Either way,
go ahead.
You can play the hard mode and you don't get that option, where you have to figure out if somebody's watching them or if they're having a conversation with each other and you kill them, then they know, hey, why did this conversation was cut short? Obviously something happened. But other than that, in the other games,
I did like hiding in the bushes though. That was a very beautifully.
I like putting mud on. I thought the puzzles and the tombs are probably the best out of the 3. The tombs are pretty amazing. The puzzles are really good. And if you play on Tomb Raider mode, which is the harder mode, you don't even get the white lines on the walls that tells you that that's climbable. So you really need to figure it out. That'll take you forever. But that's for, like, if you're a badass.
But that's stupid. That's...
No, that's just a very hard mode.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, like, that's stupid because then...
What? They make it realistic? Because when you go somewhere, there's no white lines on a mountain. It tells you where to climb.
No. That's not that. It's just... you can't go up certain parts. So literally, you just be jumping randomly to see what you could grab.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Kind of sounds like a 1996 game called Tomb Raider, which didn't tell you what you could climb. Did you forget what the original Tomb Raider was like? You just had to jump around and figure out where you could climb. They're just giving you that option. You don't have to play the game like that. That's just a hard mode where you have to figure out where you can climb.
I would appreciate. I could appreciate something like that if they did that. If the game was more like Assassin's Creed, where you can basically climb anything. Do you see where I'm going with that?
I see where you're going with that, but it's just
because
a
there
mode.
No, I get it. I get it. I understand what you're saying, and I understand that the mode, but it sounds ridiculous just because she won't grab onto anything. That would be better. Like, that would be a better fit if the game actually allowed you to climb on everything.
But then you wouldn't need the other mode with the white stains on the mountain. The only thing I think they keep is the weird circular ones where you can use the the pick so you can climb. But the white stains is not around. When you hit the button to glow, nothing is yellow. So it's everything. There's no instinct. That's basically what it is. You have to figure out what to do. But that, I mean, I'm playing it like that to get the trophy. Other than that,
Right.
I wouldn't play it like that. But truly, the puzzles in the each tomb is amazing, and I really do wish that they had like that in Tomb Raider 1 and Tomb Raider 2, because it's amazing how easily it is to. There's so much to find in this game. The game is about 8 hours long, but if you want to find all the tombs and everything, that could be easily a 20-hour game. I mean, but if you take your time, there were times that I would be hours before I go to the story mode. There's very little fighting in this game, and then to hear people criticize that she's a sociopath because she kills so many people in this game is ridiculous. She's by herself fighting a whole mercenary team. And if you listen to the conversations that they have, they're constantly saying that they're going to kill the people in the town, and you know that they got to get out of there, so they got to kill whoever the archaeologists that are there. These people are bad. So she's there by herself and she kills them on any means possible, and she's a sociopath. Don't get me wrong, I agree that she's selfish because she wants to be able to find the tombs and take whatever the hell she finds. But so was Indiana Jones. So was Nathan Drake. They went into different cultures and they stole shit. Lara does it now, and it's unacceptable that she's killing people because she's trying to protect herself, which I think is ridiculous.
But it goes back to what I've said.
She's a heroism. She's an icon.
She's an icon. That's probably the biggest thing. Because in the 90s, she was Nathan Drake. She was Indiana Jones. She killed people for
treasures,
entertainment. Yeah, but it wasn't this self-indulged megalomaniac, and that's the other aspect. It's there are three aspects to it. One, she's an icon, and she was always known to. She killed bad guys, but it was never to the degree of violence that it was. It was not this, I'm going to slit a motherfucker's throat, and I'm going to stab him in the kidney, and then I'm going to kick him off the cliff. It was just this like bang, bang, bang with this little gun, and you didn't even see the bloodshed.
Yeah.
That's the first. That's the first big one. The second thing is she wasn't this self-indulged individual. Nathan Drake and Indiana are doing things, but they're doing it for fame, but in essence it's to bring these wonderful artifacts to the world. It's not this.
Whoa. Nathan Drake did not find these wonderful artifacts for the world. It was all for the money. He did it for himself. He never did it.
First one.
He did it for himself, for the money. Him and Sully were con artists, for God's sake.
Well, they were until he met Elena.
Well, but it's still the.
I get what you're saying.
When you get to Helena was what, part 3 where he finally decided.
Elena was in the first one,
and
she was in the second one, too.
But we don't count Elena for 1 and 2 because he was still a thief. For fuck's sake, part 2 was called what?
But this is where the thief is more Han Solo, less. I'm trying to think of a douchebag who's a thief.
But
that's where we find the love for. Do you get?
I understand. I get what you're saying.
And this goes back to why. But listen to me. This goes back to why George Lucas edited Episode 4 to make Han Solo not seem like such a brutal killer. So he made Greedo shoot first. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then we go to
this is where she becomes this sociopath, maniacal, evil person. And then the third thing, and I'll say it straight up, it's because she's a woman. That's the big strike against her.
That's up to the reviewers that are saying this bullshit. Because go ahead.
It is, but that's where it comes from. Now, don't get me wrong. When I saw what happened in Mexico, and she's like, "Well, we need to go," and
Jonah puts her in her place.
Yeah, and she's still all high and mighty about doing like what she wants to do. Hell, she saw a little kid die, and she's still like, "I need to do this for my father." Blah 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 blah. And it's like, do you not see what you just did? And like, this is your fault.
And it is her fault. But what was Trinity there for? For the same thing. If she didn't pull it, what Trinity would?
Well, here, let me say this much. As a person who doesn't remember part 1, was Trinity even in part 1?
No.
Okay. Were they in part 2?
Yes. See, they were the main antagonists.
Okay, so for a person who vaguely remembers part 1 and who didn't really play part 2, just picking up part 3, Lara Croft is a cunt.
Yes, she's very selfish.
There's no other way to put it. Like, that scene alone put a really bad taste in my mouth.
What was Trinity there for? What was Trinity there for?
Well, basically,
the same fucking knife.
But like I said, from what I've gathered, Trinity, based off of, I'm just saying, I've never played. I played part 2. Hell, I rented it. I got to a certain part, and then I stopped playing for whatever reason. So I have no idea who Trinity is, and based off of what I saw in that game, I really don't know that Trinity is the bad guy. I'm just saying, like, up to this point, I don't see how Trinity is the bad guy.
But have you been, okay?
Because the way he's like, "Where's the box?" And she's like, "I have it in its safe." He goes, "You don't have the box." And he basically knows the evil that's about to come because she doesn't have the box. And he goes, "You took the knife and you don't have the box? How stupid are you?"
Because you need them both to prevent the end of the world.
Right. But that's the thing. That's where I'm getting at. This guy would have never touched that knife without the box. And this is where I'm like, you really are selfish. Like, I want you to understand where people are coming from in this regard.
And I still say that I agree. It was selfish what she did. But when it comes to the killing, she's killing bad guys.
But it's not that she's killing bad. Like, what you have to you're saying she's killing bad guys. That's great that she's quote unquote killing bad guys. But based off of the reasoning for killing the bad guy, you're not. To a certain degree, it's almost like she's unjustified in the means.
Well, I mean,
because she caused the hell, she killed all of those people in that village. She killed all those people in that village, and now she's going to listen. I haven't beaten the game. I'm not sitting here saying that Lara Croft is the end-all be-all evil. I'm just letting you know, dude, based off of what I've played and based off of everything that I've seen, and then I'm going off of what I read, I'm agreeing with what the reviewer said, that she's a psychopath.
A sociopath. Two different things.
A sociopath, a psychopath, whatever. She's a little crazy. Hey, I'm crazy too. I mean, hell, I want to purge.
I disagree.
So
I understand she killed those people there because she was in her selfish needs. But there's no way if she deliberately knew what was going to happen, then I would tell you, yes, she's a sociopath. But she didn't know what was going to happen. It happened. It's her fault. Which I'm not trying to give anything away, but it did happen. And it is her fault. And she has to live with that. And it sucks. But she knew that once the guy took the knife from her, what would happen? Where they want to change history. They want to change the world in the hands of a cult. So yes, I agree with the reviewer that what she did was wrong. But, I mean, if you hear the conversations of the guards and stuff, they're not there to make friends with the people there either. If the flood didn't kill them, they were going to kill them. Because that was their whole plan. They were killing all the architects. In fact, certain scenes when you walk around, you see them cold-bloodedly shooting them in the fucking head. Archaeologists. Shooting them cold-blooded. Because it's a cult. A cult that's been around since the death of Christ. I'm not saying that what she didn't do was wrong. It was wrong. And she is selfish because she has the same fucking goal in her head where she wants to finish what her father started. And that's wrong. I agree. That's wrong. And I'll agree with the reviewers. But when she's out there killing people, it's not like she grabbed a kid and killed it. It's not like she grabbed a guy who was unarmed. She doesn't go into the towns and kills people that are not part of Trinity. The only people she's killing are mercenaries. And in a game where it's either you or them, anybody in her position would do the same thing. And then I read reviews about how she kills them. Well, then how else do you fucking kill someone? If you know how to kill, Frank, I'm sure you were trained in the Marines how to kill. Okay, are you going to do it the fast way or you're going to do it the gentle way?
But this goes back to where, and mind you, I'm very on killing people. Hell, it's the reason why I think Zelda's bullshit. Because I tried to kill a person walking down the road in multiple ways and they never died. And I'm like, this is dumb. Like, that's literally, it's why I stopped playing Zelda.
Yeah, but Zelda's it's a kid's game.
But but this is why Lara Croft is getting the treatment.
And it's so unfair. It's so ridiculous. Indiana Jones put men through propellers and cut their heads open.
Right, but you didn't see it.
Okay, well, that's a cinema. Okay, that is not fair, though, because you don't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen, Frank.
It's implied. It goes back to one of those things like it was implied kind of thing.
But come on, that's bullshit saying it like that.
Dude,
that's bullshit because you still know what he did, though, even though you didn't see it. I understand, but even though you didn't see it, you know what he did. He fucking went to India, went into a village, and he chose to mess up the ecosystem of what's going on there. He went in there and just started killing a bunch of people who were obviously following a religion that was bad, but he chose to go into the Temple of Doom and change things around. And he killed a lot of people. A lot of people.
So was Nathan Drake.
So was Nathan Drake. I'm just saying, you're right. It's because she's a woman, and I don't think that's right.
It's the fact that she's a woman, but I go back. It's literally, it's Uncharted versus Gears of War.
And it's just like, if you don't like it, then don't fucking play it.
But that's what it is, man. And I go back, like, if we weren't gamers, right? If we weren't gamers, and you grew up and you played Tomb Raider, right? You remember Tomb Raider from the 90s. And yeah, she killed people, but it wasn't bad. She mainly killed dinosaurs and wolves, right? And every once in a while she'd come in contact with a person. So you go out and your 12-year-old kid is like, Dad, I want Tomb Raider. And I'm like, oh yeah, Tomb Raider was awesome. I'll get you Tomb Raider. And you get this. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
That's the other reason why they're saying this stuff.
That's not fair treatment, bro. And I'm sounding like a feminist here. I just think it's unfair. Towards the game, not towards her. I'm not saying towards her. I just think it's unfair to the game because it's a female character to immediately imply this is sociopath behavior.
She has a bunch of stuff working against her.
I know. It sucks.
Ellie's not getting that treatment. And
yes, she did too. She's getting it too.
I don't feel that she did. I could be wrong.
There was a lot of complaining about how the only lesbian character ever made in a game, and she's a violent killer. But it's what it is in that world.
I don't remember. I personally didn't see anything about that. I don't even think that it was really exposed that she was a lesbian until.
And that's the other thing too. Is like
until the DLC came out.
The other thing, I mean, Joel was very selfish. Hell, the only reason he wanted to take Ellie there was for money. And then, if you want selfish, Joel took Ellie away from the operation room out of her own will when she wanted to save the human world. He chose his needs over hers. But yet not a single reviewer said anything about that. How that's a sociopath behavior. How that's the most ultimate selfish sacrifice that has ever been in video games. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
It is. It is the most selfish decision ever made in a video game. He chose his needs over mankind. You cannot outbeat that.
But the thing is there was no...
No what? It was a cure.
No guarantee. There was no cure.
Frank, if there was even just 5% guarantee that they could save mankind, and Ellie said, yes, I want to do it, he needs to respect her decision, and he made a decision for her. That is selfish. And then he lies to her face.
But I'm playing devil's advocate. The thing is do you know that does she know that they were going to kill her to try to save lives? Because that's the thing. We don't know that there was a cure. There's the possibility of a cure.
It doesn't matter. She was immune. You have to take that chance. And Ellie wanted to be there. You don't make that decision, bro. You don't make the decision. And if you think if he had the balls to do it and make the decision, then why lie? Joel lied because he knew that what he did was wrong. Think about that. He lied. You lie only because you know you did something wrong. That's the only time we lie. And I'll take your silence as
I understand what you're saying, and I will say just now that I'm a dad, I can see it more.
You can see it more?
Yeah.
Of why?
I can see it more. Because, I mean, before I had a son, I would be more on that side. But if my son was immune and there's only a possibility that you could cure the human race, but it's a possibility, no, fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
She's not his daughter.
But it's...
And she was old enough to make a decision once again.
But, yes, but we also go back to this idea. You don't have anybody, man. And she doesn't have... Like, that's it. Like, it literally is the two of you.
It was a selfish decision. No matter what.
It was. I won't deny
what he did, he knew he was wrong. That's why he still hasn't told her. How do you think she's
We
going to
don't know
react when
that.
he finds out?
I don't know.
She's going to flip her shit. Watch.
I don't know. It depends. I'm excited. That's a game I'm definitely excited for.
Absolutely. Anyway, we got to cut it. We've been talking for too long, but that was a good. I felt like that was a good comparison of what. If you want to talk about selfish, I thought that was a good comparison. It's not like I wanted to put Last of Us down. I'm just saying.
Not on means.
It's like reviewers. I never heard reviewers say, "Oh, Joel's terrible." But nope, he has something between his legs that makes him different. Anyway, guys, that is it for the show today. Thank you for listening to us. If you want to email us at evilmetalgamers@gmail.com. You can follow us at Twitter at evilmetalgamers, at Instagram at evilmetalgamers, at Facebook. Pretty much just look up Evil Metal Gamers and you should be able to find us. Once again, thank you for everything, and we appreciate everybody who's been following us and listening to us. All right, guys, take care.
Love, peace, and selfishness